I'm kind of a history buff. Among other things, I'm fascinated by the styles of leadership that have emerged on the political landscape. And believe it or not, even tyrannical leaders give us insight into good, or at least I should say competent, leadership. Even the bad actors in history somehow rose to power, and I'm fascinated by their leadership style. And yep, we can even learn from bad leaders. You see, the principles of leadership work for villain and hero alike. But in my study, I found this recurring tendency that characterized bad leaders. They don't handle dissent very well. They let the power go to their head, and they begin to believe that they are invincible and godlike. Once that happens, they begin to believe that their ideas are the sole authority on what is right, and therefore any competing idea must necessarily therefore be, well, wrong. They start to take it personally when others have a differing point of view. And now notice that we've transitioned, that the facts are no longer the basis of making a decision, but rather the personality and the authority of the leader itself is no longer subject to, logic, reason, let alone accountability. And it usually becomes their undoing. Hitler's so-called accomplishments are pretty impressive, stunning. Now, I don't mean that as a compliment, folks. It's an observation. He was effective. But late in his career, it became well known among his generals that it was disagreeing with Hitler is kind of a bad career choice. It was Hitler's way or the highway, or worse. Same was true for Stalin. It's a thread that seems to be woven into the very fabric of tyrannical, maniacal, and ultimately failed leadership. When I was training technicians, the very first lesson was loyal dissent. Now, what that is I explained that I was the decision maker, and compliance, well, not optional. However, that being said, being the boss does not make one right every time. I let them know that if they agreed with me, not only was it okay to express that, it was, in fact, their duty. After all, I could be wrong, and we want to do what's right. And I assured them that I would listen to what they had to say and take it into consideration. Now, I also made it clear that I may not change my mind, in which case they need to remember that part about compliance is not optional. Now, let's say I got it wrong over their objection. I never heard them say, "I told you so." You know why? I beat them to it. I would own up to my mistake, and I would take full responsibility for the consequences of my decision. It worked well. Even when my decision was questioned, my authority was never questioned. Basically, I earned their respect. My employees sometimes helped me correct course. I've been retired for over 10 years now, and I still maintain friendships with former employees. Early in my training, I would put this loyal dissent idea into practice. Once I kind of figured that the technician had gained, core competence in a particular skill, I would give them an instruction that I knew to be errant. And once I did that, I'm watching. You see, if they challenged my instruction, that told me two things. One, they had mastered that skill. And two, they had internalized and become comfortable with the idea of loyal dissent. Now, if they did not change the order, now I had to figure out, did they not challenge it because they don't understand the skill, or do they understand the skill but were afraid to say anything? So that was the hurdle that I would have to jump over. So how do you handle dissent? Do you take it personally? Does it trash relationships? Do you burn your bridges? Or do you allow others to help you avoid mistakes? Do you subject yourself to accountability? This is not some modern day enlightenment in management philosophy that is often purported by the so-called life coaches out there as if they are some kind of authority on management and leadership development. The Bible speaks clearly on the topic way back when they wrote Proverbs chapter 15, verse 22. It goes like this: plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. But hold on there. If you pick and choose your team of advisors in such a way as to rubber stamp what you are already predisposed to do or believe, that's not really counsel, is it? You got to be careful in selecting counsel that has two things. One, the wisdom, and the courage to challenge you if they think you're wrong. They may even play devil's advocate if they think you're right. The litmus test for me is my team of advisors always 100% in agreement with me? Well, if so, I'm not in compliance with the true spirit of seeking the counsel of many. Remember, Hitler's counsel always agreed with him. This posture has served me well, not only professionally, but personally. I hope that by sharing it with you, that you will benefit from it as well. And if not, well, you're welcome to disagree. Well, those are my thoughts for today, and I am interested in your thoughts, even if you don't agree with me. And I would be honored if you would take a moment just to make a comment in the space provided on this page. I read them, and you know what? Others might read them as well. Also, let's connect on Twitter. I'm at Data Genesis. It's down below. And you can subscribe to the text blog, which actually serves as the talking point notes for these videos. The address is above. And I do not do these videos alone. I'm honored to be part of a team of Christian bloggers that use our blogs as the talking point, as the text, to make these videos. The reason we do that is we hope that it will inspire you. We hope that it will be uplifting to you. And most of all, we hope that it will empower you. If you would like to check out some of the other inspirational videos from my teammates, please subscribe to this YouTube channel.